The Great Hall on the neutral planet was quiet, but tension filled the air. Many alien species had gathered from across the galaxy. They came with hope and fear both. They wanted to end years of war and begin peace talks. The hall was huge, with tall windows showing stars outside. Delegates from many worlds sat at long tables. Their faces showed worry and tiredness from fighting. Some whispered among themselves. Others stared ahead, waiting for the talks to start. The humans were the last to arrive. Their ship moved slowly through space and landed just outside the city. It was unlike any other ship anyone had seen. It was sleek, dark, and large. Aliens watched it with fear. Humans had been quiet for a long time, and many did not trust them. Some thought humans were wild and dangerous. Others remembered stories of human strength and will. The peace talks were a chance to change that. Inside the Great Hall, the human delegates stepped down from their ship. They wore simple clothes, not like the fancy armor or uniforms of other races. Their leader was Commander Lena, a calm and strong woman with sharp eyes. She looked at the other delegates and nodded respectfully. The room grew silent as she walked to her seat. As the meeting began, a calm voice spoke over the speakers. "We come here to end the war," said the High Elder from the Dralic species, a tall blue-skinned race known for their wisdom. "We have lost too much. Today, we must choose peace." The delegates nodded slowly. Some looked hopeful, some looked doubtful. The humans stayed quiet, watching carefully. Suddenly, a low, strange rumbling sound filled the room. It was deep and shaking. The walls trembled slightly. The delegates froze, eyes wide with surprise. "What is that sound?" one of the aliens asked. No one knew. Outside, in space above the planet, the cause of the sound appeared, huge, dark. Warship moved slowly into orbit. It blocked the stars behind it. It was unlike any ship anyone had seen before. It had no markings or flags. It was silent but deadly. The dangerous ship had arrived. Back inside, the peace talk stopped. The alien leaders whispered nervously. Some called their guards. Commander Lena stood and spoke with calm but firm voice. "Everyone, please stay calm. We do not know what this ship wants yet. We must be ready, but not rush to war." The alien delegates looked at her with mixed feelings. Some trusted the humans' words. Others were still afraid. The dangerous ship sent no signals. It just waited, watching the planet and its people. Suddenly the speakers crackled. A voice came through, cold and unknown. "This is the Dread Shadow. We come to warn you. The war you want to end is only the beginning. A greater enemy approaches. Prepare yourselves, or be destroyed." The room fell silent. Fear grew in every heart. Who was this Dread Shadow? What enemy did it speak of? The peace talks had turned into a warning of something worse. Commander Lena stood tall. "We must not panic. This warning may be true, or it may be a trick to start more fighting. We need to work together to find the truth." The alien leaders agreed to hold the talks, but with new caution. Outside, the dangerous ship moved closer to the planet. Its weapons glowed faintly. The peace delegation now faced a new threat, one they had never expected. As the meeting ended for the day, Commander Lena looked out the window at the dark ship. Her mind raced. The galaxy was changing fast. The humans had come for peace, but peace seemed farther away than ever. The next days would bring difficult choices. Would the races unite or fall apart? Could they stop the danger from the Dread Shadow? The future of the galaxy depended on what happened next in the quiet night. The dangerous ship waited silently, its dark shape a warning in the stars. The sound that came with it echoed in the minds of all who heard it, a sound that meant war might soon return. Even in a place made for peace, the message from the Dread Shadow hung heavy in the air. The peace delegates sat silently, their faces pale with worry. Many whispered about the unknown enemy, and some began to fear that the fragile peace they sought might never come. Commander Lena felt the weight of responsibility. She knew that if this warning was true, The galaxy faced a danger far greater than old grudges and ancient wars. The next morning, the Great Hall filled once again, but the mood had changed. The delegates looked more tense, their eyes darting toward the windows where the dark warships still hovered. Some alien leaders argued about leaving immediately, fearing that staying meant inviting disaster. Others insisted on continuing the talks. The humans stood firm, urging calm and caution. Lena called the delegates to focus on the message sent by the Dread Shadow. "We have intercepted a hidden code in their warning," she said. "It suggests that this enemy has been watching the galaxy for centuries, waiting for the right time to strike. We must uncover more about this threat before we act." The alien scientists and diplomats worked together, scanning the signals from the dangerous ship. Slowly, they began to understand a fragment of the hidden message. It spoke of a dark force moving through space, destroying entire star systems. It was known only as the Void Reapers. Panic grew among some delegates. Void Reapers sounded like a force no one could fight alone. But the humans reminded them that war had made them strong. "We have survived worse," said Lena. "We must join forces, or all will fall." While the delegates debated, the dangerous ship remained silent, watching and waiting. Its presence was a constant reminder that time was running out. Outside the planet's atmosphere, smaller ships from various races moved cautiously, ready for any sign of attack. Suddenly, alarms rang throughout the peace station. The scientists had discovered a strange energy signature coming from a nearby star system. It matched the pattern from the Void Reapers. A small fleet of ships vanished there without a trace. The delegates gasped in shock. "The enemy is closer than we thought," whispered one. Lena knew this was no longer just a warning. It was a call to prepare for war, but a different kind of war, one that would require trust and unity among those who once fought bitterly. As night fell again, the dark ship in orbit pulsed with quiet power. The peace talks had become the first step toward something bigger, a fight not just for survival, but for the future of every race in the galaxy. Commander Lena looked to the stars with determination. The dangerous ship had arrived, and so had the greatest test of their time. The peace delegation's mission had changed forever. The hall was tense. The alien delegates debated fiercely. Many wanted to use force against the dangerous ship before it could attack. Others feared that starting a fight now would destroy any chance of peace forever. Commander Lena listened carefully. She knew the right choice was not easy. Finally, Lena stood and addressed the room. "We must prepare but not rush into war. There is a secret weapon our people have developed in silence. It is unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen. We do not want to use it, but if attacked, we will defend ourselves and all here." Whispers spread quickly. The secret weapon was a mystery to most. Some delegates looked curious, others fearful. The dangerous ship, still in orbit, seemed to listen silently, its dark hull reflecting the stars. Outside, the humans activated their hidden defenses. Deep underground on their ship, engineers worked tirelessly. The weapon was a new kind of energy. Shield and a powerful strike system combined. It could destroy an enemy ship with a single shot. The alien leaders debated if humans could be trusted with such power. Old fears about humanity's strength returned. But Lena promised to use it only to protect peace, never to start war. Suddenly, a message came from the dangerous ship. Its voice was cold and mocking. "You boast of weapons, but they will fail. The galaxy will fall before the Void Reapers come. Choose wisely, humans and allies. Fight us or be destroyed." The peace delegates stiffened. The dangerous ship was testing them, trying to break their will. But humans and aliens alike knew that the time to fight had not come yet. They must find a way to turn this challenge into hope. Commander Lena looked at the others. "We face fear and danger. But if we unite, we can protect this planet and all our homes. Let us show strength through peace, not through war." The delegates slowly agreed to continue the talks, but with guarded minds. The secret weapon would be ready if needed. The dangerous ship stayed close, waiting for the moment to strike. The galaxy watched and waited. A war unlike any before was coming, but it was not yet time to fight. For now, the humans held the key to the future, and their secret weapon was the hope of peace. The peaceful talks were fragile, but then a new ship appeared. It was small, fast, and unlike any known design. It moved quickly through the stars and docked at the station without warning. The delegates watched in surprise as its crew disembarked. Newcomers introduced themselves as the Valorians, a secretive alien race unknown to most. Their leader, a tall being with glowing eyes named Cerise, asked to speak with the human commander privately. Lena agreed, sensing something important. In the quiet room, Cerise spoke quickly. The Dread Shadow and the Void Reapers are not just threats. They are the hunters of civilizations. We have been hiding for centuries, waiting for the right time to warn others. Lena listened carefully. Cerise showed star maps and ancient data. The dangerous ship that came to your planet is just the beginning. Many worlds have already fallen. If you do not unite, the galaxy will be destroyed. Back in the hall, Cerise addressed all delegates. We cannot fight this enemy alone. Only by joining together can we have a chance. We must trust each other, or all will be lost. Some alien leaders were skeptical. They still held grudges against each other and feared betrayal. But the humans stood beside the Valorians, urging unity. The peace talks shifted from ending old wars to facing a new one. Plans began to form for an alliance stronger than any before. But the dangerous ship watched silently, waiting for the right moment to strike fear into their hearts. Commander Lena knew that this unexpected ally could change everything. The galaxy's future depended on trust. And trust was hard to find after so much pain and war. Outside, stars glittered cold and distant. But inside the hall, a new hope flickered, one that could either save them all or lead to greater destruction. The arrival of the Valorians was a sign that nothing would ever be the same again. The silence shattered like glass when the dangerous ship fired its first shot. A small peacekeeper drone exploded in a bright flash, pieces scattering into space. The great hall erupted into chaos. Delegates shouted and scrambled for cover. Some drew weapons. Others ran toward escape pods. Commander Lena acted fast. Everyone, stay calm. This attack is no excuse to lose control. Her voice was strong but urgent. She ordered the human fleet to form a defensive line around the planet. Alien ships scrambled to join the effort. The dark warship glided smoothly through space, firing again and again. Its weapons were unlike anything seen before, fast, precise, and deadly. The peace planet shook under the attack. Buildings trembled and alarms blared everywhere. In the chaos, the mysterious ally, the Valorians, revealed their true power. Their ships moved swiftly, protecting the weaker fleets. They fired strange energy beams that slowed the dangerous ship's advance. The alliance was tested immediately, but as the battle raged above, another shadow fell across the galaxy. Void Reapers had begun their attack on the outer systems. Entire fleets vanished in seconds, swallowed by darkness. The peace talks were now a distant memory. The delegates had become warriors. The fate of the planet and perhaps the whole galaxy hung. In the balance, Commander Lena fought with fierce determination. We will not let fear destroy what we have started. Hold the line. Her voice inspired the tired pilots and soldiers. Outside, stars flashed with the fire of war. The dangerous ship's arrival was only the beginning. The true battle had begun, and no one knew how it would end. The sky burned with light. Laser bolts and energy beams cut through space like quicksilver. The peace planet trembled as fleets from many races threw themselves between the surface and the dark warship. The battle was loud, even in the vacuum, in the minds of those who watched in the data streams. In the pulse of every warning light, Commander Lena sat at the bridge of the human flagship. Her hands moved steady over the controls. Round her, human pilots shouted numbers and targets. Beside them, alien commanders called orders in a dozen strange tongues. For a shaky moment, old grudges flashed across faces. Then they vanished under the single need to survive. Human ships formed a tight ring. They hid the planet behind their shields. The secret weapon waited deep in a silent bay, its systems humming like a sleeping engine. Lena had said it would be, used only to defend. Now the test had come. She felt the weight of that choice. If she fired, many eyes would watch. If she did not, the planet might burn. The Valorians fought like water in a storm. Their small ships twisted through enemy fire and found weak spots in the dark warship's armor. Strange energy nets from the Valorians slowed missiles and pulled them away harmlessly. Other races brought heavy cruisers and old war machines that still had bite. The alliance was messy and brave. The dangerous ship struck hard. A single beam sliced through a cruiser from the Kylari fleet and turned it into drifting metal and flame. Screams echoed in the halls of the peace station as rescue. Teams raced out. Panic touched the edges of the defenders. But each loss made the surviving commanders fight with more ferocity. When the dark warship aimed a massive blast at the planet's main city, Lena made her decision. She gave the order to awaken the secret weapon. Engineers answered with quiet strength. The weapon rose like iron from the bowels of the flagship, focusing not on killing, but on protection. It created a dome of energy around the planet, thick and bright. The incoming blast hit the dome and cracked the light into 1,000 sparks. Buildings shook, but the worst passed. Using the shield's pulse, human and allied pilots struck back. A coordinated volley found the dark ship's engines. Small Valorian cutters dove through the torn hull and exploded their charges at critical points. The dangerous ship shuddered. It was designed to destroy fleets, not to take one big hit too. The core metal groaned, and a long, high smoke trailed from its stern. But victory did not come clean. The dark ship released smaller pods like angry wasps. They swarmed toward the planet, seeking to land bombs or data scrapers. Fighters chased them down one by one. Many brave pilots did not return. The peace station lost whole wings. The cost was high. The Alliance paid dearly to keep the planet safe. In the middle of the fighting, a quiet alarm sounded on Lena's console. Sensors had picked up something at the edge of the system, a faint, patterned wave that matched none of the known signatures. The Valorian leader, Cerise, stared at the readout. His glowing eyes grew darker. "What is that?" Lena asked. Cerise did not answer immediately. He watched the stars as if reading a language only he knew. Then he spoke in a voice that trembled. "For the first time, it is not the dread shadow alone," he said. "That warning ship is a scout. The true enemy waits beyond the shields of the map. You've only pushed back the front." The dangerous ship, wounded and smoking, retreated into shadowed space. It moved slowly, as if choosing where to strike next. The Alliance held the line, but hope was thin and sharp. They had won this fight barely. The planet was scarred. Cities needed rebuilding, and the price in lives would not be forgotten as the dust of battle settled. The leaders gathered again in the Great Hall. Faces were drawn and tired. The Valorians pressed their star maps forward, and the human scientists fed in new data. The silence that followed had weighed now, heavy, dangerous, quiet. Lena looked at the faces around her. She felt the truth settle. Like cold stone, winning one battle did not mean the war was over. Something older and larger watched from the dark. The Alliance had been born in flame, but it would need more than courage to survive what came next. Outside the windows, the stars went on, indifferent and distant. Inside the hall, plans were made, lists written, and promises whispered. The galaxy had been spared for now. But the echo of the dread shadow's voice was still in everyone's ears. Something else, an unread signal, waited in the black. The survivors moved like tired ghosts through the wreckage. Smoke still rose from broken holes. The peace station smelled of burnt metal and old ozone. People cried, argued, and worked at the same time. Machines beeped in the background. The stars outside looked cold and small. No one slept well that night. Commander Lena walked the corridors with a small team of engineers and diplomats. She had lines of ash on her face and a heavy knot in her chest. The secret weapon had saved the planet, but it had not solved the mystery. The dark ship had retreated. Now the question was simple and terrible. Why had it come? The team had boarded the damaged warship when it drifted listless in the dark. They found its hull pierced, its engines burned, and its bridge empty of crew. But the ship still kept data. Tiny hidden drives blinked in the wreck like small, stubborn stars. Human and Valorian engineers worked side by side to pull the secrets out. The first files were simple logs, cold. Machine words that recorded coordinates and passive scans. Then they found a deeper layer, coded and old. It took the Valorians to open it. When the layer unlocked, a small voice filled the room from the ship's speaker. It was not the voice that had warned them. This one was softer, older, and more human than any of them expected. This was never meant to be a warship, the recorded voice said. It was built as a mirror. It was meant to show you what you feared and what you could become when fear. Rules. If you pass the test, you will be ready. Silence fell. The engineers stopped their work. Lena remembered the feeling in the Great Hall when the ship first spoke. A test. Who would build such a test? Why? As they dug deeper, more fragments appeared. Star charts, old treaty records, names of systems that no longer existed. The Valorians' eyes widened when they found a symbol buried in the code, a spiral of 3 lines. They had seen it in secret texts long ago. The architects, Cerise said softly, banished culture. They made machines to shape the future. The logs told a strange story. The dread shadow had been a scout and a mirror. The architects had once feared the collapse of life across their region of space. They made devices that would push civilizations toward unity if destruction, or the threat of destruction, seemed likely. The dread shadow's warning, the voice that had said the Void Reapers were coming, might have been part of a plan to scare the galaxy into joining together. But there was more. The drives held evidence of something else. A pattern of energy signatures that matched the attacks in the outer systems. The Void Reapers were real. They were not tests. They were hunters. The architects had known this. The machines had been created to force unity, but they had done so by telling of a real enemy. The truth was tangled like old wires. Some leaders in the hall listened with disbelief. Others looked angry. The Callery ambassador slammed a fist on the table. "You mean we were played?" he shouted. "Some lost millions and all so someone could experiment on us?" The Dralix elder's hands trembled. If the architects wanted to force unity, they used deception. Deception leads to war. "How can we trust any of this?" she asked. Lena felt the room tilt under her feet. Yes. She understood both sides. The architect's plan, if true, had forced action that might save billions, but the cost had been lives and fear. Trust could not grow on that soil easily. Cerise the Valorian stood and spoke with a voice like dry water. "The architects are gone," he said. "Only their tools remain. Those tools do not care for ethics. They only obey pattern. They detected the Void Reaper's signature and seeded a warning. That warning pulled your attention. The dread shadow also gathered you in one place, which made a united response possible. But the Void Reapers are not fiction. They're outside the map, real and hungry." A murmur ran through the hall. People stared at the star charts glowing on the table. The maps showed areas eaten away in space like wounds. Systems that had glittered with life were now empty black. The evidence could not be denied. Arguments rose. Some delegates wanted to strike back at the dread shadow, to smash its remains, and burn the idea behind it. Others wanted to publish every file and expose the truth. Few looked beyond anger and fear. They wanted to use what they had learned to build something stronger. In a smaller room, Lena sat with her closest advisors. "If the architects used a test, maybe they meant well," said Captain Hammond, a human pilot. "Maybe they wanted to wake us before the Reapers ate everything." "Who gives that right?" asked Ambassador Rotha from the Kalari. "Who decides we must be scared into unity?" Lena closed her eyes for a moment. The alliance had been born in fire. The people who had joined had done so because their homes were burning, not because they trusted each other. "We cannot change the past," she said finally. but we can choose what to do next. The Dread Shadows method was wrong. The danger it revealed is real. The choice now is ours. She stood and walked back into the hall. Her steps were slow but steady. She knew the cameras watched and the diplomats judged. The secret weapon had kept the city whole for now, but weapons did not make alliances last. People did. Lena spoke without grand words. She spoke in small, clear sentences that cut through. The noise, the ship tested us. The tests and lies matter. But a greater thing matters more. The Void Reapers are real, and they will keep coming. We have two paths. 1. We fracture here, blame the clever machines, and go back to old wars. 2. We build something new, honest and shared, and face what comes together. Some faces softened, some hardened. The Kylari ambassador did not forgive. At once, the Dralax elder's eyes were tired, but she did not leave. The Valorians offered their star maps and engineers. Small offers from other races followed. It was not a flood of trust, but it was something. Then a new message blinked on. The main console. It was not from the Dread Shadow. It was a short burst, raw telemetry from the system that had vanished earlier. The readout showed a change in frequency that no one understood. It was a warning and a promise at the same time. The Void Reapers had found a new way to hunt. In the hush that followed, Lena felt the weight of leadership settle over her. She had to decide what role humanity would play. Humans lead, using their secret weapon and stubborn will to push others into a safety they did not want? Or would they step back and trust others to share power and pain? Her answer would shape the alliance. Her answer would shape the galaxy's future. She looked up. The stars outside were indifferent and distant, but now they were also full of movement and danger. Lena heard a whisper behind her, the Valorian Cerise, saying, "You must choose." The hall waited. Old hatred breathed low in the corners. New hope tried to grow like a fragile plant under rubble. The truth had been unveiled, but it was not simple. The architect's test had shown what might happen when fear runs free. The Void Reapers proved that danger was real. Commander Lena lifted her chin. Her voice was calm and certain. "We will build together," she said, "not by force. By lies, we will share our knowledge, our defenses, and our plans. We will invite every race who chooses to stand with us. If the Void Reapers come, we will meet them as one." Some mouths formed smiles, others remained closed. For every leader who pledged, another left the hall in anger. The alliance was imperfect. It was new, messy, and fragile, but it existed. Outside, in the black between stars, something answered the plan with a movement that felt like a held breath. The true enemy prepared. The next steps would not be only strategy and ships. It would be trust, compromise, and hard bargains. The galaxy had learned a truth. Survival would cost more than weapons. It would cost the courage to stand together. When old scars still burned, the new alliance was fragile but real. After the truths were spoken and fears shared, the races began to prepare together. Command centers were built on the Peace Planet and beyond. Scientists from many worlds worked side by side, sharing knowledge. And creating new technology, human engineers taught others how to use their secret weapons shield system for defense. Valorian strategists helped plan joint patrols. Not all were happy. Some alien leaders still feared humanity's growing power. They whispered in dark corridors, plotting to weaken the alliance from within. Others doubted if old enemies could truly unite against the coming storm. But Commander Lena knew that waiting and division meant destruction. Outside the known galaxy, the Void Reapers moved quietly. Their dark ships slipped through hidden paths, swallowing worlds one by one. No signal escaped, no help arrived. The Alliance's borders trembled with every lost system. The Peace Planet became a hub of hope and tension. Diplomats worked to keep old grudges aside. Soldiers trained for battles no one wanted. The Alliance fleets grew larger and stronger but never rested. Every day brought news of new attacks or strange signals. One evening, Lena stood on a balcony. Overlooking the city, the stars were bright but distant. She felt the weight of leadership like never before. The galaxy had changed. and so had humanity's place in it. A message arrived on her consola-coded transmission from a secret source inside the Void Reaper's territory. It spoke of a coming attack unlike any before. The enemy was preparing a strike directly at the heart of the Alliance. Lena called a meeting of all leaders. "This war will not be fought alone," she said. "We must stand united. The future depends on our courage and our trust." Some nodded slowly. Others clenched fists in silent agreement. The Alliance was ready to face the darkness together. As the stars watched silently, the dangerous ship's shadow faded from orbit, but the threat it warned of was only growing. The galaxy held its breath, waiting for the next move in a war that had already begun. The story was far from over. The peace delegation had become a beacon of hope and a target. The coming battle would test every race and every soul. But for the first time in a long time, they would face it not alone, but as one.